Hi, my name is Annette, and what you will find out from effortless parenting will change your parenting forever, because we all deserve calmer homes. Today I would like to share a message about judgment and shame like I've never shared before. And I want to start with a brief note on self-care, which is that if you're feeling sensitive in any way and are not able to handle another story about abuse, I would like to invite you to turn this off and go out into nature and listen to the birds. I find the animals really healing, and I came out into nature myself to use the strength of these trees to share what I'm about to share. So in my second video on this channel, I spoke about power and control in parenting, and I'm going to link this video at the end. And my tip for you was, I explain what power struggles with children are about. My tip was to ask yourself, what's at stake for me when you're caught in a power struggle? And my power struggles with my children were usually around getting dressed in the mornings. And when I asked myself the question, what's at stake for me, I found that it was an extreme fear of confrontation with my children's teachers. And last summer, when my son was about to go from first into second class, I realized that I couldn't remember anything about first and second class. And as it happened, my mother was over from Germany, and I asked her a few questions. It kind of hit me really suddenly, because I usually have a memory like an elephant, and I can remember very, very vividly this feeling as a child to be overpowered by adults. And this ability to remember is really one of the gifts why I'm able to share my parenting with others. And so I asked my mom if she remembered anything to help trigger why I can't remember, and she was a teacher in my school. So I mainly didn't really remember about school. In my memory, somehow over the years, I had a very happy time in primary school. And she explained, or what she remembered, primary and secondary school were together in East Germany, where I grew up. And she said that something that teachers of the secondary classes would do is go into primary and intimidate the younger children. So this is ages 6 to 9 or 10, and they would point at them, and she put her hand out like this, and they would point, and they would say to a young child, "I've got my eye on you, wait until you come to secondary school." And in this moment, I had a repressed memory come up, which was that the principal of my primary school stood in the doorframe of my class and pointed at me like this, and then went, "You come with me." And in that moment, I remembered that he took me to his office and he sexually abused me there. And I won't go into much detail. I just would like to share the gifts that I got out of having the courage of looking at this after decades of not dealing with it. And the first gift that came to me was my whole life, since I could remember really, was that whenever I saw blood or I saw someone suffer, sometimes I didn't even need to see someone suffer, just people telling me about others suffering, or even going to the cinema, which in my rational mind I knew was just acting. I would have to leave and I faint, and so I fainted loads of times in my life and had concussions and black eyes. And the way how this remembering happened for me last summer was that I would either have a flash of a memory or something in my surrounding happened that triggered it. And one day I was on the way to the beach. It was a really hot day with my children, and my daughter, it was a complete accident. She closed the boot and she didn't see that I had come around and put my hand in, so the boot closed right on my hands, and with that pain I fainted. And when I woke up, I had a memory, which was that the principal, while he abused me, would also cut himself with a knife, and that suppressed memory of seeing blood and suffering was the reason that when I saw blood I would faint. And why I call this a gift is because also in that memory it opened my eyes, and I saw that this kind of the way he used to use that knife on himself, and it almost felt like a kind of ritual. Some people would call it satanic. It was so disgusting. And he and what I did as a young child of the age of 6, 7, 8, this went on for over 2 years, was that I developed this strategy of fainting, because when I fainted the abuse stopped, and eventually the abuse did stop, but the fainting didn't until last summer. So last summer when I had the courage to look at this, I started feeling a lot of strength and power rising in me. And the reason why I call this a gift is that I seem to now have that ability to hold that space for others, to share this with a strength that I had never felt before. And the second gift that I got out of this was last summer, when another memory was triggered, that there was the caretaker who lived in this building. I completely repressed this. He owned a black German Shepherd with the name Rex, and in one of these memories Rex would lick something off my body. I have no recollection or yet what that was, and that then triggered this fear of all animals in me. So I would be afraid of the tiniest bird or even a spider coming to attack me. And when I was able to feel that fear for the first time since that happened, I was able to feel it, and it sounds very easily said now, but I felt it, and I was finally able to let go. And as it happens, and I wrote a blog about this yesterday on my website, effortlessparenting.ie, about how last summer we got 2 little kittens, and one of them happens to be black. And my whole life I was afraid of first of all, German Shepherds. I was surrounded by them being a child in Germany, and with that black animal in my house, that I got the courage together of touching her. She's a beautiful little kitten. I was able to heal my fear of animals, and the ability that has since come is that I just feel so much love for all these animals and creatures on the planet, which is, I can only compare it to the unconditional love that I feel for my own children. And the last and the biggest one was that I see it as a gift but it was the shame that I felt. It was an immeasurable shame I felt over my own body. I felt so vile over my own body that I had really kind of detached myself. I was able to use my brain, but my body, everything was numb and I couldn't really feel anything. So this also was the reason that I had an eating disorder. I was bulimic as a teenager, and I numbed every emotion in my 20s. Everything that came up that I didn't want to feel. And the shame I felt over my own body was so severe that I wasn't even afraid of walking home in the dark, because I thought I wouldn't be attacked. I'm that vile. And what I want for parents, I've since then embarked on a journey where I am starting to completely love my body, and I'm able to be really grateful and not only say it. So I want to share this message with parents who feel shame in an equal way, and I'm offering a space. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to look at my notes. This is obviously a very difficult message to share today. I do have a call for parents, and I'm just gonna have to go back to my notes. Yes, what I want for parents is I want you to have a space where you are able to share your shame and your fears the way that I have been doing this for the last decade. So I've shared my vulnerabilities in groups and publicly, and I have found this so freeing, and I believe that we're all traumatized children now as adults, and we're here to support and to help and heal each other. And the biggest fear, and over the last few years in my parenting courses and workshops, I've worked with, I would say, between 300 and 400 parents, and the biggest fear I've come to understand is that we have this severe fear of being judged by other parents and society in general. And what I also, as the flip side of this, when parents have come to embark on this work, on this journey and done the work, is that they feel this biggest relief in their lives to hear that you're not alone, and we all share these same thoughts and feelings and beliefs. And that is why I stepped out here today and took my courage together. I don't feel fear of sharing this message. I just want to deliver this in a way that is compromised and understandable. And finally, I would like to thank JC from Quantum Truths, JCK, who is, I see you as one of the thought leaders of speaking our truth in my generation, and you've really sped up this healing for me, and I would love for everyone to experience this. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.